in regards to like recruitment and things like that during your particular time, how was that experience compared to what you maybe see now? Like, what are some of the advantages that y'all might have had back then, and then what do you kind of see maybe some advantages that, or did y'all even have any advantages back then to recruiting? So, what was the best way for recruiting? Because you said, I know you mentioned that Whites Creek, if you played there, you might have had a better winning position percentage. Did that have any impact possibly on any recruitment chances as well and things like that? If you were interested in going anywhere, I know you had your mindset on TSU, but
Right. Well, no, it's all about exposure. So when it
yes,
comes to like the game now, when it comes to AAU and technology,
yeah,
exposure is more accessible. You know what I'm saying? Um, no, I was going to McGavick regardless because that's what my mom
yeah,
said I was
yeah,
going.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So the school really just got to come up, right? Because I
yeah,
ain't zoned to McGavick,
yeah. No, for sure.
Um, but I appreciated it because it was competitive. Because so McGavick was like a larger school, So of course, the bigger the school, the more hoopers you think you got at the
Yeah,
school,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um, and I would say like player development, and it's no knock against the coaching staff. It's really just a knock against the times, where now you go to high schools and they might have four shooting machines. Yeah, I'm willing to bet if my squad had four shooting machines, we all would have probably shot better.
yeah,
So it's like things like that that I think about. But the one thing that I learned is like self development. Like, I can tell you something that burnt me up. So I think it was Thursday, every Thursday on the front of the sports paper in the Tennessean, they used to do a article about a prep star in the city,
yeah,
and they used to put a big dumb picture on the front page of the sports with the article. You open it up, it got more on the inside,
yeah, yeah,
right? I wanted one of them,
yeah,
like bad. And like my goal, my senior year was like I'm gonna get one of them. Cause sophomore year, I mean not my sophomore, my junior year, I played, I hooped, but I really, wasn't killing like that. I was humble, I was decent, but my senior year I was killing. So my goal was I'm finna get this front page, right? So I can frame that mug and have it on my wall right now as we speak, right? Never got that joint. And what used to run me hot, Josiah, the people on the front page, yeah, I just dropped 29 on you.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But that goes back to winning and exposure, because their team might be winning, you know what I'm saying, or they team high, or they team on a 7 game win streak, so they highlight the person who, it's all that with it. But like that's something that motivated me. And do you know, the only reason I got an article, so I didn't get no article all year about nothing, right? And that like burnt me up.
yeah,
And it took putting out Antioch, it took, what I'm saying, beating them in the district tournament at Stratford to finally get a little strip about McGavick upsets, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I'll take it. And guess what? I still got it eliminated. You know
yeah.
what I'm
You
saying?
better, yeah,
I ain't frame it, but it's eliminated for sure.
yeah. Nah, that's what's up. I sure to keep it myself, cause I played basketball my freshman year. That was it. But I ain't have no. My career was trash. I ain't gonna lie. I probably had just a few points the whole season, but I like just like you mentioned earlier, like McGavick was a big school, so myself not ever playing like AAU, didn't have that exposure from playing different places. So once I got in front of that big crowd for like the first time just playing, I kind of like I know what to do outside. I can ball outside, but just
Hmm.
playing in front of everybody, it was just such a shock. I never had that exposure; it just threw me out my game.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, so that's what's up. So talk to me now. I guess I know you said TSU been on your mind. How is that recruitment process, or did you have to try out for the team, or did you come recruited for the team?
Um, well, so pretty much the majority of my offers came from AAU. You
Okay,
know what I'm saying? From my junior to senior year. That summer, I played AAU, and that's pretty much where the majority of my offers came from. TSU being like one of those schools. And it was a pretty easy like decision. In hindsight on that, I was recruited by the like Naval Academy, and the only thing that stopped me from going there is when they told me that you got to serve, X amount of years. I think it was like 3 years. And 17-year-old role was like, okay, cool. And they was like, but you can be stationed anywhere in the world, like at least 3 places anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
When they hit me with that world view, nah,
Yeah.
I'm cool right
Yeah.
here in Bordeaux, you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
in Tennessee, you know. But in hindsight, you know, who knows what that doors would have opened, you know. But yeah. So I just had to go TSU to play in front of the home crowd. Like I said, I literally grew up in the Gentry Center. I learned how to swim in the Gentry.
Yeah.
I got my first pair of J's stolen in the Gentry. It was my fault. I didn't put no lock on the
Yeah. Yeah.
um. And then I didn't get my first fist fight at Gentry, but I did get in a fight in Gentry. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I did a
Yeah.
lot of through over those 4 summers. I kind of matured, you know, all up in Gentry. So to go play in Gentry, you know, it was kind of like a no brainer.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. And you said something interesting as well because I also had an interview with Dante Jones as well, and he had mentioned something about his exposure in AAU. That's what got him his opportunity at the college that he went to as well. So,
Hmm.
can you kind of talk about maybe before we kind of get back into TSU a little bit about like just how the importance of playing AAU basketball is and just having that exposure?
Yeah, so like now it's like major. Like whenever I have kids, yeah, they get in the
Yeah,
AAU 4, 5 years old, you know, early, you know, being on the circuit because they just have so many tournaments. And the reason why I think AAU is awesome, you know, is because you get to play against talent all over the country. So you
yeah,
might think you cold right here, because that was one of the things I went to. My dad took me to a 5-star camp in Pennsylvania.
yeah,
You know, so like I told you, my senior year I was killing.
yeah,
That was the only camp I went to, and that made me work harder. But I went to that 5-star camp that summer, and it was people my height, point guards. Like you know, I'm like, man, okay, I'm not as cold as I thought, you know. And I think playing on, if you're on a good AAU team and you traveling around the country playing some of the top AAU teams, that's how you get better, playing the best. But yeah, man, like the AAU game, even in Chicago where I'm at, it's like political. You know, it's big bucks involved. You know, and I ain't even talking about even on no scandal stuff, just with the branding and getting sponsors, like you know. So I wish I would have, you know, in hindsight, I wish I would have did AAU more consistent. I never really had a real AAU team. I kind of just bounced around on who need a spot or, you know,
yeah,
so I could have definitely, I think if my dad would have known, because I got into the AAU game late, like in high school,
yeah.
you know, instead of in 7th grade, 6th grade, you know.